People will only expect you to give them something, which brings us to the second point. The Stoics emphasize the importance of remembering that true worth comes from acting in a way that is good and logical, not merely from doing what other people want. By practicing moderation and giving in a balanced way, you can maintain control over your actions and prevent developing habits that negatively impact your mental health. Throughout your life, you've likely heard that people are creatures of habit, and this couldn't be more accurate. Human beings are inherently programmed to adapt to patterns, routines, and the symphony of activities that surround them. This tendency towards habitual behavior is deeply ingrained, influencing everything from our daily routines to our broader life choices. The concept of the comfort zone originates from this intrinsic desire for consistency and predictability. When you consistently give without setting boundaries or limits, you inadvertently reinforce this habit-forming behavior in others. The people you help will come to expect your assistance regularly, taking it as a given rather than a generous act. This can lead to a situation where they remain comfortably within their comfort zones, relying on you to handle responsibilities that they should be managing themselves. Instead of fostering independence, your constant giving creates a dependency that ultimately hinders their growth and self-sufficiency. Consider the scenario of a workplace environment. If you continually take on extra tasks or responsibilities for your colleagues, they will quickly become accustomed to your support. They might stop trying to complete these tasks on their own, knowing that you will step in to ensure everything gets done. Over time, this creates an imbalance where your workload increases disproportionately while your colleagues become less accountable for their duties. The same principle applies in personal relationships, where constant giving can lead to an expectation that you will always be available to provide help, support, or resources. Another crucial aspect to consider is self-worth. If you do not value yourself and your own needs, it's unlikely that others will either. Self-worth is a fundamental component of how we interact with the world and how others perceive and treat us. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you send a message that your time, energy, and well-being are less important. This can result in a lack of respect from those around you, who may take your generosity for granted and fail to appreciate the sacrifices you are making. It's important to note that you shouldn't expect this kind of empathy or consideration from the people you help. Human nature often gravitates towards self-interest, and those who benefit from your kindness may not always reciprocate or recognize the need to give back. They might continue to prioritize their own needs, expecting you to fill in the gaps without considering the toll it takes on you. This can create a cycle where you are constantly giving and rarely receiving the same level of support or appreciation in return. Moreover, people who rely heavily on your generosity might develop a sort of Robin Hood mentality, where they see your help as an easy solution to their problems without any cost to themselves. This mentality can be incredibly draining for you, both emotionally and physically. Over time, it can lead to burnout, resentment, and a significant decrease in your overall well-being. Therefore, it's essential to strike a balance in your interactions with others. While generosity and kindness are admirable traits, they must be tempered with self-respect and boundaries. Learning to say no and prioritizing your own needs is not selfish. It's a necessary practice for maintaining your mental and emotional health. By doing so, you ensure that your giving is sustainable and that you are not sacrificing your well-being for the sake of others. Your goals will not be taken into account. The Stoics emphasized the importance of living by reason and virtue, setting limits and prioritizing our own responsibilities if we want to maintain balance and not sacrifice our identity and well-being for others. When you consistently place everyone else's needs ahead of your own, you risk neglecting your personal goals and aspirations. This neglect can be particularly harmful, as it often masks deeper issues within yourself that you may be avoiding. Consider the scenario where you find yourself frequently spending weekends alone or returning to an empty home daily. These moments of solitude can be daunting, and the discomfort they bring might lead you to overextend yourself in helping others as a way to escape your own feelings of loneliness or inadequacy. By constantly diverting your attention to others, you avoid confronting these uncomfortable emotions. This continuous cycle of prioritizing others over yourself not only exacerbates your bad mood, but also intensifies feelings of frustration and resentment. These emotions can accumulate over time, leading to chronic stress and potential burnout. It's crucial to remember that self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity for maintaining overall health and well-being. Taking care of yourself first is not selfish. It's essential. Imagine self-care as the foundation upon which you build your ability to support others. You should enjoy a chocolate yourself before offering it to someone else. Similarly, you shouldn't offer to clean a friend's house until you've taken care of your own space and allowed yourself some leisure, such as watching a good movie while sipping wine. By ensuring your own needs are met, you preserve the energy and capacity to genuinely help others without depleting yourself. People will think you are weak and treat you that way. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate strength and self-discipline by setting clear boundaries and committing to our responsibilities and ideals. When you help others excessively without setting limits, you risk being perceived as weak. This perception arises because people often equate limitless giving with a lack of self-respect and assertiveness. Over time, as you become known for your willingness to help, you might inadvertently establish yourself as the go-to person for others' responsibilities. While you may think you're being supportive and dependable, others might start seeing you as someone who can be easily taken advantage of. This perception can lead people to offload their tasks onto you, knowing you won't refuse. Essentially, you become a dumping ground for others' responsibilities. However, there is a powerful word that can change this dynamic: no. When you start setting boundaries and occasionally saying no, you earn a different kind of respect. People will begin to see you as someone who values their own time and well-being. This newfound respect can be surprising, as it comes from demonstrating self-worth and assertiveness rather than constant acquiescence. It's also essential to recognize the difference between those who genuinely need help and those who seek to exploit your kindness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of wisdom and discernment in choosing whom to help. With self-control and perspective, you can identify people who are genuinely in need versus those who are merely taking advantage of your generosity. In social dynamics, it's not uncommon for people to shift their behavior based on perceived opportunities. Friends who once valued your company for mutual support and enjoyment might start contacting you only when they need something. This change can feel hurtful and isolating. Understanding this pattern helps you manage your expectations and relationships more effectively. To navigate these complexities, you must develop strategies to protect yourself from being exploited. Learning to say no is the first step, but it also involves setting clear boundaries and being firm about your own needs and limits. This approach not only safeguards your well-being, but also ensures that your generosity remains a positive force in your life rather than a source of depletion. You'll only get people who want something and never those who want to give. When you consistently give to others without setting boundaries, you risk attracting people who are primarily interested in taking rather than reciprocating. Building genuine, balanced relationships requires patient judgment and discernment. People often enter our lives because their energy resonates with ours. If you find yourself surrounded by individuals who are negative, needy, or manipulative, it might be a reflection of your own energy levels. Energy is a powerful force that influences our interactions and relationships. When we operate at a low frequency, feeling depleted, stressed, or overwhelmed, we tend to attract individuals who are similarly negative or draining. These people may have dark souls, carrying with them a sense of depression or a tendency to harm others, even if unintentionally. Their presence can further drain your energy, creating a vicious cycle of negativity and exhaustion. Conversely, when we maintain high energy levels, marked by positivity, kindness, excitement, hard work, and joy, we attract people who embody these same qualities. High-frequency individuals bring good energy into our lives, fostering supportive and mutually beneficial relationships. They are the ones who offer help, share in your joys, and stand by you during tough times. However, when you give indiscriminately, you can lose so much energy that your frequency drops. This makes you a magnet for those who seek to take advantage of your generosity. Opportunists who may never intend to give back are drawn to the energy you expend. You could end up getting hooked on something. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and control over one's desires and habits. When you give too much of yourself without limits, you risk falling into unhealthy patterns and dependencies. The regular experience of shortage, whether it's a shortage of time, energy, or emotional support, can create a heightened need for something to fill the void. Addiction often starts as a way to cope with these shortages and the stress they bring. It could begin innocuously. Perhaps you start drinking a bit more than usual, indulging in comfort foods, or engaging in activities like gambling to escape reality. These behaviors might seem harmless at first, but they can quickly spiral into addiction. Pay close attention to feedback from those who care about you. A loved one might point out that you're drinking too much, not just water, but perhaps alcohol. They might notice you're overeating or gambling excessively. Your initial reaction might be defensive, insisting you don't have a problem. This denial is common, especially when people are deeply entangled in their issues. Remember that those who care about you want the best for you. They see the potential harm and want to help you regain control. Their observations are valuable, as they can help you recognize and address the problem before it worsens. Listening to their concerns can be the first step toward recovery and maintaining a healthy balance in life. You'll make people think twice. Stoicism teaches us to do good deeds regardless of how others perceive us. By consistently acting according to our beliefs and principles, we build a strong, positive image that can withstand false accusations and misunderstandings. Despite this, the reality is that genuine kindness is rare, and this rarity can make people suspicious. In a world where many people act out of self-interest, your consistent kindness and generosity might stand out as unusual. Instead of being impressed and grateful, some individuals might question your motives. They could wonder why you are so kind and what hidden agenda you might have. This suspicion is often more a reflection of their experiences and the scarcity of true kindness in their lives than a judgment of your character. Such skepticism can be disheartening, especially when you have pure intentions. However, it's important to understand that their doubt is not necessarily a negative reflection on you. Rather, it's a natural response in a world where altruism is often met with suspicion. People have been conditioned to believe that there are always strings attached to acts of generosity. This distrust can sometimes mean you've encountered a particularly wary group of individuals, but more often, it's a general societal trend. The truth is, many who seem overly helpful might indeed have ulterior motives, reinforcing the cynicism in others. It's crucial to remain steadfast in your principles despite this, continuing to act with integrity and kindness without expecting immediate recognition or validation. Now let's look at what you can do to stop people from taking advantage of you. Strategy number 1. Pay attention to how you feel. Based on the Stoic idea of self-awareness, it's crucial to pay close attention to how you feel. The Stoics emphasize the importance of introspection and self-reflection to understand our emotions and desires. By tuning into your feelings, you can gauge whether you are giving too much and potentially wearing yourself out mentally and emotionally. This self-awareness allows you to adjust your actions and find a healthier balance. Consider this: how does it truly make you feel when you help others? Ideally, helping should bring a sense of fulfillment and joy, making you feel like you're walking on clouds. However, if you find that your acts of kindness leave you feeling excessively busy, tired, angry, or used, it's a clear signal that something is amiss. Ignoring these feelings can lead to burnout and resentment, undermining both your well-being and your ability to continue helping effectively. Listening to your feelings is an act of kindness towards yourself. If you notice that certain activities or types of help leave you feeling drained or resentful, don't lie to yourself about it. Acknowledge these emotions and investigate how the help you are giving is impacting your health and happiness. For instance, if you are constantly agreeing to tasks that disrupt your personal time or add undue stress, it's time to reassess your boundaries. Think of self-care as the foundation for sustainable generosity. Just as you wouldn't give someone a chocolate without first enjoying one yourself, you shouldn't offer to clean a friend's house if your own space is neglected and you haven't taken time to relax and recharge. Prioritize your needs, ensuring that you are happy, healthy, and well cared for before extending yourself to others. Plan number 2. Don't be afraid of the word no. Following the lessons of the Stoics, it's essential to recognize that your time and energy are valuable and must be allocated wisely. Self-control and assertiveness can be demonstrated through the ability to say no, particularly when you feel overwhelmed or when a request is unreasonable. The word no often carries negative connotations, evoking thoughts of rejection, disappointment, and sadness. This association makes it challenging for many people to use this simple yet powerful word. However, learning to say no is a critical skill for maintaining balance and protecting your well-being. If you continually say yes to every request, you risk spreading yourself too thin, leading to increased stress and negativity in your life. Start by practicing in front of a mirror. Rehearse saying no in a firm but polite manner, understanding that it's a necessary step to regain your freedom and protect your mental and emotional health. For example, you might say, "I'm sorry, but I can't commit to that right now," or "I need to focus on my own responsibilities at the moment." By practicing, you become more comfortable and confident in setting boundaries. It's also important to recognize that saying no is not about being unkind or selfish. On the contrary, it's about exercising self-respect and ensuring that you have the resources and energy to take care of your own needs. This, in turn, allows you to be more effective and genuine when you do choose to help others. Remember, a well-rested and happy person can provide better support than someone who is constantly overburdened and stressed. Additionally, by setting clear boundaries and occasionally saying no, you teach others to respect your time and energy. People will begin to see you as someone who values their own well-being, which can lead to more respectful and balanced relationships. This practice not only safeguards your health, but also helps prevent unnecessary and possible risks associated with overextending yourself. Strategy 3. Respecting your own time and space. Following the Stoic values of self-discipline and self-respect, it is crucial to carve out time and space solely for yourself. This practice is not just a luxury, but a necessity for maintaining balance and well-being in your life. By giving yourself dedicated time to engage in activities that bring you joy and rejuvenate your spirit, you are honoring your own needs and fostering a healthier relationship with yourself. Whether it's exercising, drawing, listening to music with a cup of tea, or any other activity that ignites your passion and provides relaxation, make it a priority. Approach this time with the seriousness it deserves, scheduling it into your daily or weekly routine. This isn't merely a suggestion, but a commitment to yourself. When someone asks for your help during this designated time, remember that your well-being is a priority. It's perfectly acceptable to politely decline, offering assistance at another time if necessary. This not only respects your own boundaries, but also teaches others to value and respect your time. If you prefer not to be too direct, you can propose an alternative time to help, making it clear that your availability is limited due to other commitments. This approach maintains your boundaries while still offering support when possible. The key is to ensure that your personal time remains protected, reinforcing the Stoic principle of self-discipline and showing that you value your own needs and well-being. Strategy 4. Identifying and distancing yourself from energy vampires. In line with Stoic principles of self-discipline and wisdom, it is essential to recognize and distance yourself from relationships that drain your energy. These so-called energy vampires are individuals who constantly drain your mental and emotional resources without contributing anything positive in return. By identifying these relationships and creating distance, you are practicing self-care and maintaining control over your own well-being. Energy vampires overwhelm you with their persistent complaints, negativity, and catastrophic outlook on life. Attempting to help them often proves futile because their primary mode of interaction is based on draining others rather than seeking genuine solutions. Understanding this dynamic allows you to maintain your boundaries and protect your energy. Remember that trying to help an energy thief will likely lead to frustration and burnout, as their problems are not meant to be solved, but rather perpetuated to sustain their need for attention and sympathy. By stepping back from these relationships, you are exercising Stoic self-control and prioritizing your own mental and emotional health.